looky-loo traffic and that smoke that's blowing across the freeway. We also have the 101 and the 405 impacted by the Wildfire that we've been telling you about. This is burning in the Sepulveda Basin. This fire is surrounded by Woodley Avenue, Victory, Burbank, and the 405. So that's why the traffic is so heavy. And I just got word from Metro that they've decided to cancel line 235 that runs through the area because of all the fire activity. So if you normally hop on bus line 235, it's a no-go today because of this fire. South 405 crawling, approaching the 101. The 101 is crawling in both directions, approaching the 405 because of the smoke and the flames here coming from the Woodley fire. Lynette, Adrian, back to you.
All right, Robin, thank you for that. NBC4's Lauren Coronado again on the west side monitoring the Palisades fire. Lauren, you've been showing us a neighborhood just absolutely decimated by these fires, and you found somebody whose home I've heard somehow survived.
That's right. This one home was spared because if you look around me, we're on Iliff Street, by the way, just off Sunset, not far from Chautauqua. And I want to show you this entire street is basically gone here on Iliff Street. It's just so tough to take in these images. I mean, burned out cars, melted metal, literally coming down this driveway here. And you mentioned that one home. This is the home, and the architect just walked up. His name is Greg Chasen, and he's actually on the phone with the homeowner right now. He tells me that a family lives in this home. They just moved here 6 months ago. The home to their left, the home to their right is gone, and he is able to tell this family that their home is somehow still standing. Are you still on the phone, Greg, with the family who owns this home?
Yeah, I'm on the phone here with Chris. Are you stoked to see your house standing?
Yeah, I can see it, and I can see you. I'm watching the feed.
Wow. Hi, Chris. My name is Lauren Coronado. You're live with us on Today in LA right now. We're obviously on Iliff Street, where you live. Your neighbors' homes, they're gone. It's really tough to see these images. And then we stumbled upon Greg here, the architect of your home. Yours is standing. It's incredible to see. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm kind of in shock, and I just feel terrible for the neighbors. I mean, we're very lucky that the house survived, but then for the neighbors, I just can't believe it. We actually have owned that house since 1998. We own the property, and we've just rebuilt the house, but we've been with those neighbors for that whole time, for almost 30 years. And to see that devastation on the block, it's terrible.
Wow. So you moved back in 6 months ago.
That's right. We moved back in 6 months ago.
And you're saying these neighbors, you've been with them for decades now, and I can't imagine what it's like to see the neighborhood, your neighborhood, the way it is right now. The wind's just picked up, so it sounds like you're having trouble hearing me now. Have you been able to talk with your neighbors who've lost their homes?
No, we haven't. I mean, we were all evacuating at the same time yesterday. We could see the fire, up the road. It was up at the top of Chautauqua and at the far end of the Alphabet Street. And it was, I honestly couldn't imagine that the fire would have burned all the way down to the bottom of the Alphabets to where we are, but obviously it did. And we talked a lot yesterday as we were all getting ready to leave, but I haven't talked to anybody since we evacuated.
What was the evacuation process like, especially leaving, not thinking that the fire would spread to your neighborhood?
It was somewhat a little bit chaotic. It was very tough getting out of the area. My wife and daughter left early, and they had a hard time getting out of the Palisades itself. I did not have a hard time getting out of the Palisades, but it was impossible to get to the freeway.
Wow.
It took me an hour to get to the freeway from the house.
Wow, so many people desperate to evacuate.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very scary.
Okay. And again, how are you feeling? You see your home standing. Hopefully you can return soon. It might be some time because right across the street from you, a home is burning right now. So it's going to be some time, I'm sure, until you all are able to come back home. But Any final thoughts as we say goodbye to you for right now?
No final thought. I think we just need to be really considerate and caring and thinking about the people who've lost their home. And we're super lucky, and we're in a safe location, and everything is fine for us. Even, we're okay, but that's not going to be true for everyone in the neighborhood, and it's just utter devastation. It just looks a lot like Maui from the images. It's really terrible.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Greg, for your time. We really appreciate it. We're going to stay out here, continue monitoring the situation. Another home is actually up in flames right now. We're going to stay out here and continue to keep you guys posted right here on Iliff Street. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, can you imagine, you see your neighbors as you're all evacuating, and then you come back and you see this. So he's absolutely right. Your hearts can't help but break for the people who've just lost everything. Lauren, thank you so much for that.
7:30 right now, and you are watching Today in LA. We are in the midst of this wildfire emergency here in Southern California. We appreciate you joining us. I'm Adrian Arambulo.
And I'm Lynette Romero. We have been on the air nonstop since this all broke out. It started at 10:30 yesterday morning. We went on the air at 11 a.m. tracking this wildfire emergency in Southern California, and we are going to stay with you with this. Palisades is the largest fire. It started about 10:30, as we said yesterday morning. 2,900 acres, but more than 30,000 people have been forced to evacuate in the Pacific Palisades area and also Santa Monica.
We've heard of several people being injured in that fire, burn injuries to residents, and a significant injury to a firefighter who was battling that fire, had to be rushed to a trauma center. There's also the Eaton fire, and that is 2,200 acres in size. That started around 6 o'clock last night. And again, we have tens of thousands of people under evacuation warnings or orders there. The Eaton fire, talking with the Pasadena city official just a short time ago, they believe that at least 100 homes have been lost at this point. And again, no official count at this point because firefighters are still in the midst of trying to put out fires. The most recent fire, that is actually is not the most recent fire. The most recent fire is happening in the Sepulveda Basin, the Woodley fire. But there was another fire that broke out in Sylmar. That is called the Hearst fire. That started around 10:30 last night, and hundreds of acres have burned there as well.
We do know that the governor has declared a state of emergency because of these fires. If you are waking up and deciding whether or not to take your kids to school, make sure and check to see if your school or your neighborhood has been impacted. There are a lot of closures. There will be a full list on NBCLA.com. We can tell you that Pepperdine, the Malibu campus, and also the Calabasas campus closed because of this. There will be no in-person classes, and so many other schools have been impacted. So you should really check online with your school or check our website as well.
And important to note right there, 0% containment. So these fires, they're widespread all over the place, and they are out of control at this point. And the reason being the winds. We've seen hurricane force wind gusts overnight. And because of that, you can't get any of the aircraft on these fires. And that's why these are spreading so quickly and causing so much damage.
And we're going to have winds all day long. We are in the middle of it. NBC4's Michelle Valles is live in Altadena covering the Eaton fire this morning. So, Michelle, you're in front of another house that has just caught fire.
Just devastating, guys. As you can see, the sun peeking through the billowing smoke. We are completely surrounded in black smoke. We're at Midwick and Sinaloa, and Mike and Jenny Rogers live at this property, watching their neighbors' homes go down. This home we've just witnessed it just being flattened, and the carport across the street here now completely engulfed. Just 10 minutes ago, our photographer Joel Cook was trying to put it out with a water hose too. He's been doing that when he has his little lulls and breaks here, because you just feel helpless. And that's where we were here when we were witnessing. We found Mike and Jenny Rogers. They live here. They evacuated last night. And then they went to their friend's house. Their friend's house was then evacuated by the Rose Bowl, so they came back home. Mike, can we talk to you? We're live. Mike, what's going through your mind right now?
Right this minute? I could use a cup of coffee, actually. But this is unbelievable. Never thought it would happen to us.
I saw you on the roof. I talked to your wife, Mary. You guys evacuated last night.
Yeah, we went across town to Pasadena, friend of ours, and didn't think we had to, but figured better safe than sorry. And then we got back this morning, had to zigzag our way across town to discover that, and then, what little damage happened here. So we're just trying to save what we have if we can.
Do you know your neighbors across the street?
I don't know him well, elderly fellow, but nice guy. I'm assuming he's gone, as in has left the property. But that's terrible.
Your wife Mary told me Jenny told me that you guys evacuated, and then the house you went to also had to be evacuated.
This morning they're giving the evacuation order for Pasadena, that part of Pasadena.
So what made you come back home?
This is home. What are we going to do? Where are we going to go?
Were you surprised to see your home still standing when you're in the middle of this inferno?
No, what surprised me was all of this. Last night, the winds were southerly. The fire was creeping northwest. The winds were still going that way. So I figured, okay, embers were going to go that way. By the time the fire got there, maybe the winds would shift. I had no idea. I mean, I don't know if you've been on that side of lake, but it's devastating.
Mike, thank you so much.
No problem.
And I love your Chicago Bears beanie. It makes me think of Adrian Arambulo.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. God bless you guys. So he and his wife, Jenny, out here with the water hose, and their house is still intact. They did evacuate, as you heard, and then they came back to their home, and the home they were staying at was also evacuated. Here we have this guy, Dakota. Dakota, I saw you earlier. You were driving around. Are you from this area?
Yes, ma'am. I live over near Allen and Washington, in that area.
Okay, so we've been in a small radius here throughout the morning, about between a small 1 mile radius. You've been cruising around the streets and neighborhoods. Can you describe what you've seen? How many homes?
Probably over 100, definitely. It's kind of apocalyptic a little bit, as you can see right now. Just the sun itself looks kind of crazy. But yeah, it's really sad. Unfortunately, I don't live over in this area. I live a little bit more down in Washington. So, I'm just here to experience it. It's unfortunate that we have this, you know what I'm saying? We don't really get this a lot at all, really. We don't get this at all. It's our first time I think we've ever had a fire like this. It's usually just only up in the mountains. So yeah, just to witness this is kind of crazy, and it's very unfortunate for all the people that are having to go through this.
So you've seen in your experience about 100 homes go up in flames. How about emergency personnel in the streets, right? Limited?
There's a lot of them actually. Yeah, not limited at all. Yeah, they're everywhere. To be honest, they're very much everywhere. They are trying to fight this fire, but the wind is just way too strong.
Thank you so much, Dakota. All right, so this is the situation. Mike just went back up on the roof here. Their Christmas garage, is how Mary described it, did catch fire, but fortunately the rest of their home is still intact. But this is just tremendous here. This home right here, we've just witnessed it. It was under fire about 20 minutes ago, and now it's well on its way. This has been to Sinaloa and Midwick.
Michelle, as we're watching this with
you just heard that guy say there's well over 100 homes.
I have to ask you, the danger is still severe. There's such a threat there with these homes and cars burning, and yet you've got people who've come back home. You've got that couple who, it's amazing that their house is even standing because there is fire all around them. As you look at it, is this just luck? Why is this house still standing?
I don't know. There's some big homes that have survived, and I thought the same thing because it's hopscotched, right? So it is luck. And the winds, now we have some emergency vehicle coming through. The winds have shifted. So they were going southwest, and now it feels like they're going north. And now it feels like the winds are blowing north. So it's so unpredictable. It's just really luck. But the two people that we have seen stay behind have been able to protect their homes strangely. But it is luck. I mean, Mike and Jenny didn't know they were going to come back to their home that was still intact. They moved here 3 years ago. And, I've been getting text messages a lot from my friends who are asking me to check on their homes in Pasadena, and we're hearing about evacuation mornings in Eagle Rock. So it's just, we know that the winds have been southwest, and finally they have died down, because just earlier, about 2 hours ago, I had to take cover. My helmet flew off. There was embers flying everywhere. You hear popping sounds, and you wonder if it's ammunition. You wonder if it's just a chemical combustion happening. Like, it's just look live at these images and all of the smoke. You think of the wildlife. Homes just tumbling down, and it's very, very scary. No words. I can't describe it. I'm just lost for words right here, watching this and looking for a glimmer of hope. But this is just incredible. A fully engulfed neighborhood where we're at. And when I've seen, we heard that guy say that. Another popping note. We just heard that guy say that he heard about. Or saw about 100 homes where he's been driving around. He chooses to stick around and get video. We've seen a lot of YouTubers doing that. From our experience in this small radius that we had this morning, which is about a mile radius, we've seen about 40 homes. And so we know the numbers are really high.
Yeah, and we heard
the
from
numbers are really high. And that's what, our first alert weather team
Michelle,
gave us this particularly dangerous situation, saying that's the worst it can get. And it is.
No, I was saying that we did hear from Pasadena city officials, and they believe, Michelle, that at least 100 homes have been lost. There is no count at this point, because obviously we're still in the midst of this emergency, and the winds are going to continue to blow through about 5-6 o'clock tonight. So their concern right now is not counting, but making sure that they save people's lives and try to protect as many homes as possible. But yeah, we're going to be talking about, it looks like, hundreds of homes. And Michelle, I did want to ask you about those winds, because that's the whole problem here, is that you've had not just hurricane force gusts, but it's been switching directions. It looks like for the time being that they've laid down a little bit in your area.
Absolutely. So right now you don't feel them at all. And this is what gives you that glimmer of hope that we're looking for. But now they just picked back up. So they're so unpredictable. But we're just really praying for mercy here, because it's just really fueling the flames. We know this is a wind-driven fire. We know this is a topography-driven fire. And you see also in the middle of the street, not only is fires, but trees have been knocked down. Power lines have been knocked down. So this crew makes its way through. So we don't know how bad it's gotten. We've been in this area on Homewood and this Sinaloa area, and it's just been completely devastating. Just look up in the air, all of the black smoke just swirling around.
It looks like it's nighttime and the sun is up. It's daylight, but there's no daylight. It can't get through all that smoke.
It's so eerie when the sun came up, because it was such a glow that you wondered, well, what is that? And you're like, oh, that's the sun coming up, because your head's on a swivel, because you're constantly looking to see if a little ember gets on you, because embers were flying at us throughout the morning. It's just really scary. And like I said, I had to dodge behind a truck. And what's surprising here is that we have cell service, so we're able to make phone calls and call our loved ones and check in. I know I called my mom because I was that scared, It was just, Joel and I took a minute to pray, and we're just thinking about everyone going through this. It's just really devastating. I know it's going to hit all of us later, and the main concern right now is getting those lives saved that have to be rescued. We know there was a lot of early morning evacuations and rescues with animals and elderly. So this is just devastating.
Yeah, when we were talking with you at 4 o'clock this morning, we were very, very concerned about your situation out there, because you were getting knocked over by the winds. And generally with these fires, you can kind of predict the general direction they're going to go. So you can brace for that. You can plan your escape routes. But with them swirling like that, you didn't know if the fires could hit you. You didn't know that the trees were coming down near you as well. It was just such a precarious situation. And again, as we mentioned, for the time being in your neighborhood, it looks like things have calmed down. But again, we're expecting strong winds throughout the day again today.
Yeah. Right, and you never know what's going to explode. And now we got that car on fire too. See, these are the noises you hear. So, yeah, you got to take cover and use your intuition, and also just be careful. We know we just got another wind shift. So now it's going to the northeast. See, so
Yeah.
it was the southwest winds that were really devastating around 2-3 in the morning, and now you could see just as these are blowing to the north. These wind gusts here. So it's just a minute by minute situation, and very scary indeed. And of course, I'm with Joel Cook, who has many years under his belt. But I am taking caution, guys. I appreciate your concern. We're all living on a prayer right here.
Is this Jenny?
Just watching this most destructive fire.
Is this a different homeowner, or is this Jenny?
Now we see Mike at his neighbor's house.
We're watching somebody water down their property.
Go ahead, Lynette.
Yeah, we're watching somebody water down the property with a garden hose. Is this Jenny? Is this the same house, or is this a different?
Yeah, so Mike crossed the street to his neighbor's house. Yeah, so
is this a different homeowner?
Jenny lives. That's Jenny's husband. Yeah, Jenny and Mike came over here to 2285, and they're helping their neighbor's house. This is what we're seeing here, just doing what they can. You know, their home is okay, so they came across the street. As we come to the backyard and take another look here, neighbors helping neighbors, because, doing what they can.
All right, Michelle.
They can.
I'm not sure if we're with a different camera or where you are in relation to the video that we're seeing. You're right there, right? With this homeowner.
Yes, I'm here with Mary. She's putting out hotspots at the neighbor across the street. So Mary's house is okay. She ran across the street. Now she's got the water hose, do what she can to put out this fire that's burning dangerously close to this home right here. And just as what we're seeing, she can't just sit still and protect her home. She's out helping her neighbor's house too, doing whatever they can. And as we see, just the more homes burned to a crisp and leveled out.
And Michelle, I wanted to read a note that we just got. Schools in the central and eastern part of Los Angeles unified. So we're talking about schools north of Manchester Boulevard, Firestone Boulevard, east of 10th, west of the Interstate 710, and south of Highway 134. They're experiencing hazardous air quality conditions. So all those schools are going to be closed today. So there's going to be a full list of school closures to be released shortly. This decision is being made because the situation rapidly changed overnight as the Eaton fire, the fire you're covering, Michelle, exploded. And they feel like it is the best move right now to follow the science and close these schools for the day. So I just wanted to pass that along.
Right. Mary,
that little garage over there.
So Mary's doing the best she can. Mary, can we talk to you for a bit here? How was it overnight? Jenny, I'm sorry, okay. I keep saying Mary. Jenny Rogers here with us. Your house is safe. You guys evacuated, yes. And you were saying where you were wasn't safe either. You guys had to come back home.
Yes, we were at a friend's house, and they just got the notice to evacuate themselves. So we said, let's drive home to see how it was overnight, and then we came to this. So we're just trying to save as much of our neighbors and our neighborhood as much as possible.
Were you surprised to see your home still intact?
Pleasantly surprised, yes.
Jenny, thank you so much. So Jenny's house is okay. She's with her husband. And
what little shed's gonna go off over here? I would let that down here.
So this is just, they feel hopeless, but they are trying to do what they can here. This is just incredible, guys. Again, we're just south of Homewood here, south of the Eaton Canyon area, not far from the Altadena golf course, and dozens of homes just flattened and destroyed. I know Homewood, where we were about 2 hours ago, just devastated. It's very few homes survived on that street there, I can tell you, but there were a few that made it out.
We are hearing now that UCLA
futile efforts, but again,
Right. Let me just tell you, Michelle, we're hearing that UCLA is open for classes in regular operation. They're saying that the fires are not posing an immediate danger. But we should let people know they should continue to monitor that on their websites, on our website, on social media, because things can change. Certainly, air quality is a huge concern all over the region. You don't have to be up next to this fire to see the smoke. I'm having people text me and getting messages from viewers saying they're seeing the smoke from miles and miles away. And so it's going to have an impact all over our region. So you're going to the backyard now, right, Michelle? Where are you now?
Yeah, there's a lot of chemicals. Yeah, we just left the backyard. I want to see what's going on out here in the street. We just left. There's a lot of chemicals being burned. We haven't seen any wildlife. I mean, we're up against the forest here. So as more snap, crackle pops happen right here, now the car almost fully engulfed in flames. So this is, again, what we're seeing here. And the smoke is just debilitating. And but the wind have died down just a little bit. And we did see some Riverside County firefighters, 2 engines, make their way through. But again, their priority is saving lives at this point.
And we just got another note, Michelle. Again, this is coming now from the city of Azusa to your east. Because of the Eaton fire, the fire you're looking at right now, all City of Azusa non-essential facilities will be closed today. They'll continue to monitor conditions within their city, and they're warning their residents to be prepared to gear up for potential evacuations as that fire moves east. And you're seeing a big flare-up right there, Michelle.
Yeah, Jenny making her way out because, you know, this is where it can get dangerous. And this is why people, you know, the warnings to evacuate. That tree just all of a sudden went up in flames. And,
yeah, it's just not safe.
We're seeing up to 150-foot flames sometimes. It's not safe. It's not safe. And, you know, it starts off as good intentions, but the efforts might be futile at times. And then you never know when something like this is just going to ignite and explode.
So her husband was on the roof.
But,
where is he now,
a lot
Michelle?
of people are on their own. So they're right here. So they're out. They're out okay. And Mary, you okay?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, Mary's okay. Are you connecting with friends right now? Neighbors
I'm
giving
trying.
updates?
Yes. They're asking. They're seeing this on the news. So.
Can you ask her why she came out running? What did she see in the back?
Oh my goodness, that tree's huge.
So you came out running. What scared you? Was it that tree that fully engulfed?
The tree and all the smoke from the tree just engulfed the whole backyard. It's such a beautiful house.
You know, officials always tell us to evacuate. You evacuated, but you came back home.
Mm-hmm.
Now what's going through your mind? Do you want to leave again? Is it getting a little unsafe for you?
You know, I don't know. I can't even think straight, so.
Watching our neighbors' homes just go up in flames, it's got to just be the worst feeling, and trying to help out what she can. Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you.
God bless you guys. So just lost for words here, guys. I mean, just utter devastation, and the smoke keeps billowing and getting stronger, and it's hard to breathe. But again, that cell signal is still working as we look at 2285 Sinaloa. This is the street that the tree behind this home is fully engulfed. And then the house next to it looks like it's flattened, it's leveled where Joel's walking to. Just completely flattened here. Who do we have here? Hi, sir.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm about to find out. I live on this street just down the way.
You live on this street on Midwick?
Midwick, yeah.
We're live on NBC 4.
Hi.
So did you evacuate last night?
Yeah, we left about 8 o'clock last night and took what little we could and just decided to leave and went up to Santa Clarita to my son's house.
I mean, you see the fires, or you've heard about it in the news right now overnight. What made you come back?
Well, I just wanted to see. I'm going to work, and I just wanted to see what, you know, where we were at with this. And, you know, obviously,
wow,
that's
the tree that's on fire, that's really engulfed. And
wow,
when you hear that,
yeah,
I think it's worth coming back to the neighborhood to
Just to check.
Just to check,
I'm
and
not
go back
going
to
into
work.
the house. I'm not going in. I literally just want to drive by. There's nothing I can do. I mean, I'm not equipped to do anything. I just want to see where we're at. And
So where's your home?
I'm about 10 houses down on the east side.
All right. So you
So,
haven't seen it yet.
No, I'm about to.
All right. Well, drive on back and let us know.
Okay,
All
I'll
right,
be able
give-
to do that.
Hopefully some good news that you can share with us,
Yeah,
okay?
well, we'll see.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Take care. What's your name?
I'm Fred Klopping.
Fred
So-
Clopping.
Yeah.
This is your neighborhood. How long have you lived in it?
We've lived here 10 years in Altadena, going on 25. I was on the east side. I don't know if you remember about 15 years ago, there was the Baker fire or something like that. We were a half mile from the fire line and a half block from mandatory evacuations on that side.
Nothing like this.
Oh, no, this is surreal. This is, I don't think you can really imagine this until you see it. So
Where do you work?
I work in Irvine. I work for a law firm in Irvine. So
All right. Well, Fred's headed to work, guys, even despite the fires.
to do, So,
You're alive and well.
Got to be, yeah. You got to be thankful for that. Thanks again. Take care.
Thank you. God
Be
bless you,
careful,
Fred.
please.
Thank you. So, yeah, you see people like Fred just coming in to check on the status of their homes really quick. We still have Mike fighting the fire from his house, making phone calls. And again, that is the thing that is different here. There's a cell service, which is so important to communicate. So that is still, operable while these homes just go down in flames.
And, we're hearing and seeing people's reactions, Michelle, people who live in this neighborhood, and you can just tell that generally they're in shock. They haven't been able to process the entire situation just yet. They don't know if their homes are standing. They're seeing their neighbors' homes burn or their own homes burn to the ground. And, it's going to be a while before any of us can really try to process this and make sense of this because we're still in the middle of it. And we're expecting things to remain bad in terms of the conditions through at least tonight in terms of the really powerful winds, but we're going to have the dangerous fire conditions through tomorrow night.
Right. Michelle, as we've been talking with you for the last several minutes,
absolutely,
the winds there was a lull and they picked up again. What are you seeing now? How are the winds at this point? And now that the sun is up.
So you never know if it's the fires that are producing their own weather, because we know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the wind shift and they're picking up right now. And Joel's, fighting what he can with a water hose right here. We came back to the backyard.
That's Joel with the fire hose and the camera
that are hitting me. Yeah, that's Joel. So I'm moving out because there's flying embers toward me. So I don't want to be in that gnarly situation. But I'm coming back out to the street, but he's fighting that, or he's trying with the water hose, putting out that tree there. But, when you run into these people, it's just, you have compassion for them because you put yourself in their situation. Many people evacuated, but some gave it a fighting chance. And I've seen 2 homeowners who it worked for them because they've kind of been on their own and they're not getting in the way. Yes, it's dangerous. Yes, a lot of people wouldn't stick around, but you have some who came back just to see or to fight the fire, and because they're on their own.
And Michelle, you
We're
brought
all on our own this morning,
you bring up being
and
compassionate,
making the best decisions we can.
Yeah, you bring up compassion and empathy, and the reason, I think we always try to be compassionate and sensitive to these people who are losing everything. But in this particular case, this can be any of us in the sense that we're seeing fires burn where they haven't burned in generations. You spoke with a woman who'd lived in Altadena since, I believe, the 1950s, and she's saying that it never burned in that neighborhood. There have never been fires there. So if it can happen there, it could happen anywhere, and it could be any of us in this situation right now.
Absolutely.
That's a great point. Hi, how's it going, sir?
Hi, I'm media.
Oh, you're with media. Okay. We got a lot of people coming through. I'm curious to hear about Fred, who he drove down to work. Wanted to see if his house was still standing before he went to work. But yeah, compassion is the key here.
The Senate will come to order. Dr.
Barry Black, our chaplain, will lead the Senate in prayer.
Let us pray. Spirit of God, descend.
This is an NBC News special report. Here's Lester Holt.
Good morning. We're coming on the air with breaking news in Southern California, where Los Angeles County and city officials are about to update on those devastating out-of-control wildfires, at least 3 tearing through densely populated areas of LA. The numbers are astounding. 80,000 people are already under mandatory evacuation orders, and those fast-moving fires are still 0% contained. Videos and our live cameras showing the fires burning down entire neighborhoods. This unfolding disaster is a result of 3 fires fueled by incredibly strong winds, burning through nearly 5,000 acres, including 3,000 from the Palisades fire alone. 19 million people are at risk of fire danger right now in Southern California, stretching all the way down to the border. Let's join that news conference now in Los Angeles.
Chief Maroney, as well as Chief Crowley, for the work that they are doing to make sure that our first responders have all the resources necessary. Chief Maroney.
So good morning. Thank you, Supervisor Barger. My name is Anthony Maroney. I am the County of Los Angeles Fire Chief, and I'm also the Region 1 Coordinator for Fire and Rescue Resources. I'm going to be giving an update on the Palisades fire in addition to the Eaton fire, although I am aware that we have 4 large fires burning in LA County at this time. The Palisades fire is located in both LA City and LA County. We are in unified command with the City of Los Angeles Fire Department, in addition to CAL FIRE. We have well over 5,000 acres that have burned, and the fire is growing. We have no percentage of containment. We have an estimated 1,000 structures destroyed, and also no reported fatalities, and a high number of significant injuries to residents who did not evacuate, in addition to first responders who are on the fire line. We have over 1,000 personnel assigned, and the cause of the fire is unknown. However, it is under investigation. For the Eaton fire, it is located in both the Angeles National Forest, the Altadena area of LA County, and Pasadena. LA County is in unified command with both the Angeles National Forest and the Pasadena Fire Department. We have over 2,000 acres burning at this time, and the fire continues to grow with 0% containment. We have over 500 personnel assigned, and unfortunately, we have 2 reported fatalities to civilians. Unknown cause at this time, and we do have a number of significant injuries. We have over 100 structures destroyed, and the cause of the fire is unknown and under investigation. I will ask that LA City Fire Chief Kristen Crowley update you on the Hearst fire after I am finished with my remarks. The LA County Fire Department operational area consists of 29 separate fire departments in LA County, and all of those fire departments are at drawdown with no fire apparatus or additional personnel to spare. As the Region 1 Coordinator, I have requested mutual aid from the 5 counties of Orange, Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and San Luis Obispo counties. Additionally, last night, I contacted the State Office of Emergency Services and requested 50 engine strike teams. 50 engine strike teams is composed of 250 fire engines and over 1,000 personnel. We have also requested resources from out of state, as well as Northern California. Thank you to the first responders from Nevada, Oregon, and Washington State. that are already on the road coming to LA County to assist. Lastly, the National Weather Service has predicted a continued red flag weather event with strong winds and low humidities, placing all residents of Los Angeles County in danger. To all of our viewers, please prioritize your safety as well as the well-being of those around you as we come together to continue to get through this widespread disaster. Los Angeles County firefighters will remain on the front line until we reach full containment. And we ask that you keep all of Los Angeles County in your thoughts and prayers. I would now like to invite up Los Angeles City Fire Chief Kristen Crowley to give her briefing. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kristen Crowley, Los Angeles City Fire Department Fire Chief. I'd like to start with just a moment, if we could, of gratitude. A moment of gratitude for our first responders, our boots on the ground that are battling this intense and multiple jurisdiction and number of fires. So gratitude to those who are doing the work since yesterday through the night. And like Chief Maroney said, we're going to continue to work hard to ensure that we save people, lives, and property. With that, I'll be touching on a couple major points. With the Pacific Palisades fire, we know that it continues to demand a significant amount of resources and attention. A second major brush fire, now referred to as the Hearst fire, has erupted in the Sylmar area of Los Angeles. Now, together, these fires are stretching the capacity of emergency services to their maximum limits. The Los Angeles City Fire Department is battling these two major fires while also maintaining, I want to focus on this as well, 911 services for the city's approximate 4 million residents. Now, despite the severity of the conditions, our department remains fully committed to safeguarding lives and property. Next, I want to focus on what we've done over the last 24 hours. And with that, even within the city of Los Angeles, with these two major brush fires, our department has responded to 3,624 911 calls for service. And to put that in perspective, our average is just under 1,500 calls in a 24-hour period. Over the last 24 hours, we've also responded to an additional 32 structure fires within the city. We've treated and transported an extensive number of medical emergencies, well extending our normal 650 transports to the local hospitals. When it comes to the Pacific Palisades fire, as Chief Maroney had said, this is over 3,000 acres at this point and continues to grow. We will confirm the exact acreage later, so we'll make sure that we also communicate that to the community and to the media. Last night, as of 1930 hours, all aircrafts were grounded due to the high winds. Aircraft are continued to be able to resume their water drops and acreage mapping today when the weather allows us to do so. A total of 3,398 civilians and 15,105 structures are in the evacuation zone. And again, the evacuation zones are the following: north of PCH, west of Kenter Avenue and San Vicente Boulevard, south of Mulholland Drive, and east of Topanga Canyon Boulevard. There are multiple evacuation centers which are supported by the American Red Cross. Injuries. Of course, there's a lot of interest in injuries. We have several firefighters and civilian injuries that have been reported, and all patients have been treated and transported to the local hospitals. Damage assessments. Chief Maroney did speak about a specific number. We are still vetting that through on the city side, so more information to come, and we will message that as soon as we can validate that. Approximately 400 LAFD firefighters have been deployed to the Palisades fire. We have many hundreds of law enforcement officers, our partner agency responders, and public works members engaged in supporting our overall operations. We are going to be transitioning to CAL FIRE this morning to manage this incident at 0800 hours. Next, I'd like to talk briefly about our Hearst fire, which is located in Sylmar. Last night at approximately 10:10 p.m., the fire erupted in the Sylmar area of Los Angeles, adjacent to Los Angeles National Forest. The fire has rapidly expanded to over 500 acres, prompting the emergency evacuation of more than 3,000 residents. This fire is burning within the footprint of the historic Saddle Ridge fire. Now, despite the extreme winds and significant risks, and that's what we're going to be talking about from today and probably throughout the next few days, there's always that significant risk of life and property, and we'll continue to focus on saving lives and protecting property. The exact anchorage at this point will be confirmed later, and we'll make sure that we communicate that to you as well. Lastly, we want to make sure that everybody understands we are absolutely not out of danger yet. With the strong winds that continue to push through the city and the county today, I would tell you, and we are all committed to our first responders, our firefighters will remain focused on protecting lives and property. The LAFD is extremely proud to stand with all of the entities behind me. Our top priority will continue to be life safety, ensuring that safe evacuation and the rescues of our residents that are in harm's way. It will continue to be our primary focus in this wind-driven fire event as it continues. Thank you for your cooperation, your support, and your vigilance. And today, we will continue to stand with our partners to protect everyone. Next up, I would like to introduce Sheriff Luna. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Next up. Oh, we moved it. Okay.
Yes, we're just moving around, having LA Unified Superintendent Alberto Carvalho, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chair Barger, county and city leadership, in addition to the leadership of our first responders in our great community for the very, very important work you continue to do to protect our community, protect the assets, and first and foremost, the health and well-being and lives of members of our community. Los Angeles Unified is the second largest school district in the nation, representing the interests of 540,000 students and 75,000 committed employees. We make decisions regarding closure of schools in a very methodical and science-driven manner. So after a great deal of consultation overnight with experts looking at the data and considering the fact that air quality conditions deteriorated significantly overnight, we have made the decision to shut down a number of schools, particularly in the eastern part of our school system. I will define what those boundaries are. School communities, beginning with leadership, workforce, and families, have been informed about these areas. And as of now, those schools within the boundaries of the area that I will define are closed. This accounts for about 10% of our total schools in our district, about 100 schools out of 1,000 schools. The areas that I'm speaking about are schools located north of Manchester Boulevard, Firestone Boulevard, east of 10th Avenue, west of I-710, and south of Highway 134. Any school within that area, and that accounts again for the eastern part of our district, where the air quality met or exceeded levels that are not appropriate for employees or students to be around, are effectively shut down. We will be making decisions about what will happen in those schools going into tomorrow by 4 p.m. today based on the evolution conditions. In fact, since we made the decision to shut down those schools, air quality conditions have improved significantly despite the fact that they worsened significantly overnight. I want to speak specifically about schools surrounding the Palisades area. As of last night, we had to shut down 5 schools as a result of mandatory evacuation conditions. Those were Kinter Canyon Elementary School, Canyon Elementary School, Marquez Elementary School, Palisades Charter Elementary School, Revere Middle School, and Topanga Elementary School, in addition to Palisades High Charter High School. We have reports that Palisades High sustained significant damage as a result of the fire. We are working with state and federal entities to quickly access resources to address the issues facing this community. I want to very briefly address our workforce. We know today is not going to be a perfect day. A number of schools are shut down. However, localized conditions may make it difficult for our workforce or parents and students to access schools. Air quality conditions may vary and in fact may not necessarily be appropriate beyond the area where we close schools. Please use your discretion. We will utilize grace and be flexible regarding attendance and for students and employees alike. Specifically, students and employees who face chronic respiratory conditions or other health issues. We will be flexible regarding these individuals. We will provide additional updates later on today regarding conditions of schools going into tomorrow. For the schools that are open, recognizing the workforce needs of the parents of our children, beyond the bell activities, care for children in those schools will continue to be provided today. Today is not a typical day. We need flexibility, patience, and grace, and we shall extend that to our workforce and certainly our parents and students in our community. Once again, our hearts go out to those who have been impacted and our eternal gratitude to the first responders of our community for the fantastic, difficult work they've done over the past 24 hours. Thank you very much.
Morning. A lot of information to pass on, but please know this. This is a very difficult and challenging situation, but we're surrounded here by people who really care, and we're going to get through this together. That means with all of you as partners in our community. Our top priority continues to be the safety and well-being of our impacted residents, first responders, and all of the individuals involved. But understand that this is a very fluid situation, specifically in the Altadena area, and a lot of our personnel, our deputy personnel, are involved in life-saving measures as we speak now. We are working very closely with local, state, and federal agencies to provide necessary resources and support. We have been in constant communication with both our fire and law enforcement partners across LA County and beyond to ensure that all available resources that are needed are being deployed strategically and effectively, but we are prioritizing life over everything else. There are over several hundred sheriff department personnel working around the clock to evacuate residents in danger, assist with road closures, and respond to multiple missions that are given to us, and they do change periodically depending on that life mission. To ensure that everyone is going to be safe or safe as possible, additional personnel will likely be assigned to this fire as this continues to go, and you heard from our fire partners that there is no containment yet. I do want to split it up into two. I want to start talking about the Eaton fire first. Currently, there are evacuation orders in Pasadena, Altadena, and Sierra Madre. Evacuation orders, there are approximately 32,500 residents under evacuation orders and approximately 13,186 structures that we deem at risk, and that could grow. Evacuation warnings, approximately 38,600 residents are under evacuation warnings and approximately 14,342 structures are at risk. At 4 a.m. this morning, the evacuation orders did expand to parts of the city of Duarte, Monrovia, and La Cañada. And again, we continue to assess that. That's evolving. That's going to change. So I encourage you to consistently pay attention to all sources of information so you're ready to go when you are given that order, if that does come. As information's changing, even as I was driving up here, even as I'm walking up to this podium, I'm getting messages about several of our employees who have lost their homes in the last several hours. I don't know how many because we are still gathering that information, but like all we all live here in Los Angeles County, so we are impacted. So we're going to make sure that within our department, we're wrapping our arms around our employees just like we do with community members. Again, as I was coming up here, I did find out that we did have 2 fatalities in this area. I don't have any specifics. There is a lot of damage out there. We're still in the process of doing these assessments, trying to still save lives. So this information is going to change. The Altadena Sheriff's Station itself was evacuated, and it was at least limited on fire. There was some fire at the Altadena Station, but we did have to clear out all of our employees out of there. I'm hearing some miraculous stories, and they're just barely coming in, of our deputies who were trying to evacuate the Altadena Station, and then residents were running up from different locations around there asking them for assistance in getting them out of their structures. And from what I understand, they were barely able to get people out before these structures started burning. There's just heroic stories of what our deputies are doing out there from last night and this morning. I want to make sure people know deputies are working to assist residents who are evacuating and continuing to make evacuation notices as we're speaking. They are securing areas that are evacuated, and it's always sad when I have to say this, but part of our responsibility is to make sure that no one loots or steals from our residents, our community members who are already being impacted. And I'm sad to report we made 2 arrests this morning for looting already. So if you are thinking about coming into any of these areas to steal from our residents, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be caught, you're going to be arrested, and you're going to be prosecuted. Don't do that. Stay out of these areas. It's only for emergency workers and people who live there. We are at this point unable to clearly determine the extent of damage at this point because the conditions are rapidly evolving and the destruction needs to be assessed as the daylight hours have come forward. I do know that I've lost at least 1 sheriff's black and white to a fire. Thank God that the deputy is okay. But deputies continue to be on patrol throughout the road closure areas to ensure evacuation areas remain closed to the public. All schools in the Pasadena Unified School District are closed. There is a road closure at Altadena Drive from Allen to New York Drive. For those in need of shelter, please head to the Pasadena Convention Center located at 300 East Green Street in the city of Pasadena, and we're working with them in Unified Command and in partnership as well. For animals, there are established shelters at Large Animal Shelter Rose Bowl Stadium at 1001 Rose Bowl Drive in Pasadena, Small Animal Shelter Pasadena Humane Society at 361 South Raymond Avenue in Pasadena. I'm going to switch gears now to the Palisades fire that we've been heavily involved in with our partners, again, with LAPD and LA City Fire and everyone else that's up there working. As of this morning, the fire was still burning in that area. That's impacting our residents. Evacuations are in effect, continuously in effect for the city of Calabasas, the city of Malibu, Los Angeles City, Pacific Palisades, and unincorporated area of Los Angeles County and Topanga Canyon. Evacuation orders are approximately 37,000 residents under evacuation orders and approximately 15,000 structures at risk. Again, that's specifically for the Palisades fire. Evacuation warnings, approximately 20,000 residents are under evacuation warnings and approximately 6,500 structures are at risk. There have been minor injuries and our partners at the fire department have talked about those and several, unfortunately, structures that have been lost and we're still assessing those. Bear with me, I'm almost there. There's a lot of information, very important information. There are several road closures which can change rapidly. The 10 freeway at Lincoln Boulevard, southbound PCH at Las Flores Canyon, southbound PCH at Topanga
All right, we have been
Canyon.
monitoring a news conference underway in Los Angeles describing the impact, what authorities know so far about the various fires burning in Southern California, the largest of which is in Pacific Palisades, some 5,000 acres. destroyed there. Another large one to the northeast of Los Angeles, near Altadena, the Pasadena area, where there have been 2 fatalities. Overall, over 1,000 structures have been damaged or destroyed in these fires. A third fire burning in the Sylmar area, that would be north of Los Angeles. Let's go straight to Jacob Soberoff in Palisades, California right now. This is the scene we've been watching throughout the night and into the early part of today. Homes, many of them beachfront homes along the famed Pacific Coast Highway, destroyed. Jacob, describe the situation there now. The sun obviously up. How is that affecting things?
Lester, it feels, and I'm trying not to exaggerate here, catastrophic, disastrous, something I think the likes of which people like myself, who's a lifelong resident not only of Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, but also of this neighborhood of Pacific Palisades, where I was born and raised, has never seen before. There are 23,000 people that live in this beautiful coastal community between the foothills of the Santa Monica Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. And those tens of thousands of people have been ordered to evacuate because of exactly what you're seeing. This used to be a house, and everywhere you look, there are scenes just like this. Up and down Sunset Boulevard, the famed Sunset Boulevard from where I'm standing right now, all the way into the Palisades Village, every marker of this once vibrant community is gone. The grocery stores are gone, both of them. The gas stations are gone. Doctors' offices are gone. The public library, where I grew up going as a child and have brought my own children, gone. What's different about this? How could this have happened? These are the questions that I continue to hear asked. And the answer is what you heard in that press conference. The reason that the air quality is so awful right now, as they were discussing, is that these are hurricane force winds that we have seen gusting in the Los Angeles area. And it was a tinderbox ready to go. We have had virtually no rain over the course of the last several months after 2 years of pretty intense rain, unusual for Southern California, where we're so used to droughts. And everything went up in an instant. It started in the Palisades Highlands, where you might have seen those pictures of what seemed like hundreds of cars abandoned on the side of the road, people literally running for their lives, bulldozers clearing the streets so first responders could come in. And to echo what you heard from the folks looking out for the life and safety of the people in Los Angeles at that press conference, there's a mutual aid situation going on right now in Los Angeles, meaning it's the Los Angeles City Fire Department, the Los Angeles County Fire Department, neighboring jurisdictions like Malibu, Santa Monica have come to help here. The Los Angeles Police Department is on a modified citywide tactical alert, which means some of the nearly 9,000 or 10,000 police officers that are all called into duty today throughout the city of Los Angeles are being dispatched here to not only order evacuations from people who may not have left, and if there are anybody who is still in a home right now, it is well past time to get out, but also to control traffic, to keep people out, to let the first responders do their job. Lester, I think a lot of times we think about what the big one might look like as far as an earthquake in Southern California. Well, this is the big one when it comes to a fire here, Lester. Yeah, Jacob, I've been covering wildfires in Northern and Southern California since the earliest days of my career, going back into the late 70s. I've never seen anything like this. Do you agree? There's no doubt about it. The idea that LA is a city of communities, Lester. You know this just as well as anyone from the time that you have spent here. And Pacific Palisades is one of those vibrant communities. Pacific Palisades, for all intents and purposes, as we know it, has been wiped off the map as I'm speaking to you today, from a neighborhood that I grew up a couple streets away from, Lester. It is a bleak situation. It's going to take not months, but years to recover, and countless dollars, the toll of which we don't know yet. All right, Jacob, I know you and your team are putting in the long hours in a dangerous situation, so please stay safe. Let's go to Al Roker now. Let's get the latest in the forecast, Al. The worst is yet to come. There's still some high winds in this storm, or this windstorm.
That's right, and it is. You know, Lester, you actually, this is for all intents and purposes a fire cane. Okay, we're talking about hurricane force winds with a firestorm attached to it. Right now, almost 3,000 acres, the Palisades fire, the Eaton fire, 2,200 acres, Hurst fire, 500. And we're actually picking up particulate matter from on the radar from these fires. That's how bad it is. Winds, gusts right now, sustained winds, 45 to 95 miles per hour, as you can see, from Topanga Canyon all the way to Pacific Palisades. Now, here's what we are looking at. This is what's causing all these problems, these destructive winds with 100 mile per hour gusts. We're talking about the humidity, single digits, and that leads to explosive fire growth. So 19 million people at risk north of Ventura all the way down to San Diego. It's a particularly dangerous situation. And the fire risk right now, critical, just north of Los Angeles to Santa Clarita and Oxnard, all the way down to Temecula and further south. We've got a critical to extreme risk for these areas. Here's what's happening. We've got a pressure gradient, high pressure to the north, low pressure to the south, and those winds are being squeezed between the two pressure systems. And what that's doing is bringing those Santa Ana winds, powerful winds coming in here. Add to that the low humidity and the fact that since October 1st, less than 10% of average rainfall has fallen in Southern California. And again, those winds, the big problem. Wind gust 69 in Simi Valley, Los Angeles 63, Mission Viejo 52 mile per hour wind gust. And that's going to be the problem over the next 12 to 18 hours. Those wind gusts are going to be such that it's going to be hard for those firefighters to put up aircraft to be able to take a look at what's going on and to drop water on them, Lester. So right now, we've got at least another 18 hours of explosively dangerous conditions.
Not good at all. Al Roker, thank you. And that concludes this NBC News special report. We'll have much more ahead on our streaming network, NBC News Now, online at NBCnews.com, and of course, a full wrap-up tonight when I see you here for NBC Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt. Good day, everyone.